Hi, my name is Raghuram. I am a principal program manager at Adobe Systems. I've been in Adobe for about 20 years now. And I'm one of the first few batches where I did the postgraduate program, executive program, as they call it right now, from Great Lakes. When I joined the program, I was a program manager. And over the past few years, I have been able to steadily rise up the ladder, as they call in corporate terminology, to become a director of program management, leading a team of about 16 people for the Adobe platform. And then eventually, I've just taken a shift to being a principal program manager into another team running Adobe for Education for whole of India. I think the management education, fundamentally that helps in giving a very high level macro view about either finance or economics or management is really useful for an individual to form his thoughts, such that when they are in a group or when they are in a forum, they have an edge with their thought process, not necessarily their skills like a programming language or particularly a degree, from IIT, right? I come from a very ordinary college. I born and brought up in Bangalore, studied in the government college here. In spite of the stiff competition, you can imagine being able to go up the chain in a big multinational like Adobe is no mean feat. And kudos to Great Lakes for having engineered a program for working professionals such that they can achieve their goals even while they continue to work. So that's another point, that you are able to continue to work as well as study, and without taking a damage or a hit on your career, right? So you continue to focus on your career, you continue to use those learnings as you progress. A very important point, and which I always talk about Great Lakes, is that me being in software, if I would go to an IIMB and do the same course, I tend to bump into people of the same genre. So everybody is a project manager, everybody is a software engineer. So you rarely tend to increase your learning. So the learning is very, very marginal. Whereas in Great Lakes, I met somebody who was running the Godrej factory and I'm still in touch with him, Godrej factory in Pondicherry. Somebody who was constructing a port in Nellore. Somebody who was constructing 2 dams in Tirumala, which I have gone and visited, and I've done some project management for him, as a side project as when I was with Great Lakes. And somebody who was the finance head of Sanmar Group. So with this kind of variety and C-suite experience that I used to get whenever, either when we were used to go to campus and talk to them about the problems that they fixed or that they're facing, and also in the group interactions when we had to come up with some case studies, the kind of enrichment that one goes through as part of the program. Forget the subjects like microeconomics, but the real world problems that you tend to hear and solve or put to application is it cannot be compared. Then networking and understanding people from different parts of the ecosystem, right? Because you may be in manufacturing and you may meet somebody from finance, and then you can get that full view. You may be a software developer, and then you may meet somebody who's building a port, so which you would never have even attempted to do. So definitely worth investing in yourself, and the remaining things will follow. And the second part is, many of these things you have to use your own creativity to apply the fundamentals, right? Nobody is going to come and ask you to, hey, why don't you do this, right? You got to take up that on yourself and say, okay, now I learned this. Like organization behavior, right? Like they do so many case studies about what happened, how the relationship between the manager and the employee, or different groups in the same company and things like that, right? There's a big case study in Microsoft where the client and the server teams are always at loggerhead, but today Microsoft where it is. And how successful they are. So these are some learnings that you can always incorporate in your day-to-day thing. And what happens by virtue of that is you get noticed. In a room full of leaders, you will get noticed, and whatever is talked about you will be talked behind you, right? And that may be giving you the uplift that you're looking for.